It's a wonderful evening to you in Nigeria and spread across the world. My name is Ayodeji Atonda, and you're welcome to the Hotspot. Tonight on the show, we're going to be discussing incisive trending issues, particularly in Nigeria right now. When we come back, I have a special guest on the show. When we come back, you get to sing. Welcome back. You're still welcome to the Hotspot. And tonight on the show, I have a very, very wonderful, learned colleague of mine. He's a very, very good man. It took a while to bring him here. A barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adeshegun Adesanya, it's good to have you on the show. It took us quite a while to bring him to the show, but we thank God he finally made it here, all the way from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Mr. Adesanya, to be honest with you, a lot of things are happening in Nigeria right now. The social media has become bombarded with this news. And to be honest with you, this show is put together for us to can discuss it so that we can, enlighten people about things that they don't know and the angles that they're not looking at to look at these trending matters. And on the first note, let's talk about this country right now. We're in a pandemic. Do you understand? Where do you see Nigeria in this pandemic? Because it looks as if we're a cripple right now.
Well, thanks for having me once again. I must say that the pandemic is not an endemic. It's not a Nigerian thing. If it's an endemic, that means it's limited to a particular country or a region. But pandemic, it means is world over. So, but as a country, the federal governments and the state governments, they have been on top of it. They are quite well. I'm satisfied with the way they have been able to manage the situation. We can only manage this as it were, because all over the world, I don't think there's any confirmed vaccine that cures the pandemic. So all we can do, the best we can do now is to manage the situation. And Lagos state government and Ogun state and the rest of them, the federal government, they are trying their best. And private individuals too. The last time we heard of CEOs donating money to the federal government, and even though we do not know how they actually disbursed those funds, but kudos to those guys, and kudos to everyone that has done one thing or the other to caution the effect.
Going to your profile, you're a philanthropist, par excellence, and we understand you have a foundation, Rere Foundation. Am I right?
Rere Foundation.
Yes. So, and what did Rere Foundation do in this pandemic season?
To start, I would say Rere in Yoruba parlance stand for goodness, whatever that is good. So, as a responsive foundation, we last sometimes April 2nd this year, we were able to reach out to the less privileged, to the indigent members of our community. So we targeted about 500 indigents for provision of food items, which we were able to carry out.
500 people.
Yes,
that's a lot.
People.
That's a lot.
So I must say that we got over 1,000 people.
That's Nigeria. You came out in mass.
En masse. At the point we have to restrict it to the aged members of the society. I'm talking about 60-year-old and above, so that we can.
So to a level you're able to satisfy the aged.
Yes.
What region of the country did you particularly do this?
Yeah, that held at my own native community. That's Ijebu-Mushin.
Oh, Ijebu-Mushin.
Yes, in Ogun State.
That's Ogun State.
Yes,
that's wonderful. Ogun State people, we have one of yours here. Wonderful. Ijebu-Mushin. It's nice. That's nice, and I think the people appreciated your kind gesture.
Yeah, they did.
Wonderful. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, you get to know more about Barrister Adeshegun Adesanya, Esquire.
I get up, I get up, can't deny I get up, I get up.
Welcome back to the Hotspot. And like I said earlier, we're discussing a very, very important and trending issue, which is the issue of the former EFCC chairman, Magu, having been suspended and investigated now, which is very, very, very concerning for Nigerians. This man used to be the chief investigator, the man that digs you out from your hole, where you keep your money in the freezer, I will bring it. If your money is in the cemetery, it brings it. But suddenly, Magu has been accused of looted funds. And from the office of the presidency, it is shameful. It is quite shameful that the EFCC chairman has to be investigated. From the legal perspective, Barrister Adesoya, how would you describe that? Because I must be honest with you, we are not happy. We're not happy.
I must start by saying the situation caught a lot of Nigerians unawares because, like you said, by the time the hunter becomes
Haunted.
the hunted, is a very funny situation. But
Yeah.
As a lawyer, I am impressed because nobody is above the law. Nobody is actually above the law, so anybody can be investigated. So at the moment, he's facing former Justice Ayo Salami's led panel of inquiry, and that's impressive. The situation is from the office of Minister of Justice, that is Malami, who heads Ministry of Justice. He say he has certain issues with Magu, and the issues dated back from inception in 2015. You understand?
2015?
Yes, if you recall, the both of them were appointed in 2015.
Oh, yes,
Malami,
yes.
They were both appointed. And the law, we as lawyers were following the trend because Section 2, Sub 3 of EFCC Establishments Act of 2004 says the president appoints members of EFCC, including Magu, subject to Senate approval. But the situation is funny because twice the president sends Magu to Senate for approval.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and it is traditional, it is customary for Senate to subsequently send any such person to DSS for confirmation before they give approval or otherwise. But we saw that
it was rejected.
It was rejected. It was rejected twice.
Nigerians have forgotten that.
It was rejected twice.
We have forgotten that. Magu was not approved.
Till tomorrow, Magu was never approved.
How come he's there?
Yes, he was there in acting capacity. They brought acting, his situation is funny.
They tangled with the law.
Yes, because the provision of Section 2(3) of the Act is clear. The president appoints subject to Senate approval. And when we have such laws, it therefore means that until we have Senate approval, we do not have a EFCC boss. Yes, but they brought acting and it's a funny situation. So he acted in acting capacity. Until the issue he had with the Ministry of Justice.
Okay. So the Ministry of Justice, right from 2015, I've not been too pleased with him.
Yes, the situation
but the presidential process, I think the process of the EFCC chairman, is he supposed to report to the Ministry of Justice?
Yes, he's supposed to take orders from Ministry of Justice because the Ministry of Justice should act as a supervisory role.
But so far so good. I don't think he has been doing that, has he?
He has not. That's what has strained the situation. The situation is porous as it is. He has not been reporting to Malami, and sometimes in 2017 the situation got heated, between them, and a lot of people were not noticing. But for the few of us that were following the trend, we saw that there was a case of power tussle between them. He was not willing to dance to the tune of the supervising minister, which I see as an affront, because certain agencies, government agencies and parastatals are customary to be under the supervision of a minister of justice. Just like in the states, the agencies are under the supervision of a commissioner.
Yes.
But in the federal, you see that they are under a minister. So the Nigerian Police Force, the DSS, the NDLEA, the EFCC are under the Ministry of Justice. But it seems Magu has not been reporting to Malami, and that's what has led to this. That's one of the charges in the petition written by Malami to the presidency.
Wow.
Insubordination.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here. One of the charges written against the EFCC boss is insubordination, which you can trace back to 2015. And I think that is very, very important to note. We're in a democratic situation, and we must go through the due democratic process. When we come back, we'll discuss more on the EFCC's chairman mess. Thank you. Welcome back to the Hotspot. Still on the Hotspot tonight, myself and the able barrister Adesoya, still on the EFCC chairman mess. It is serious. And insubordination has been identified as one of the cases leveled against him. And I think one of the things that I think is that it was non-approval, You heard that the first year Nigerians forgot. I totally forgot too. I remember then that there was this train. He went to the house, he came back. You know,
it was never approved.
It was an acting chairman. Now, one of the things that Nigerians are concerned about is this looting of relooting of looted funds. It's serious. How can you steal something that has been stolen?
At this stage, is still an allegation, though. You know, we must keep it at that.
Okay.
We say alleged.
Alleged. Okay.
Yes, alleged. Okay. Alleged.
All right. How would you say? I don't know how he got himself into that. But do you see him as such a person?
Well, I saw that coming. Like I said, you know, going down memory lane from, like I said, it was never approved by Senate, and that went foul of the law. Looking at the law, looking at the EFCC Act, you know, the president approves subject to Senate approval. That's the law we have. You know, when it was rejected twice, and he kept acting in acting capacity, and the whole situation got to the climax at this stage when he had issues with the Minister of Justice. You know, it is not only insubordination or looting of looted funds that are the charges on the petition. We also have gross misconduct, and by virtue of Section 14(3) of EFCC Act, the funds regained from looting and all of these cases are supposed to go back to the federal government. You know, that's where the funds are supposed to go back to. You know, it is not clear. It is not clear whether he. But one thing I know is that there's a figure he gave to Ministry of Finance, which he also
correlated the right
not,
figure.
You know, we're having different figures at different times.
Okay.
You know, so that's an issue for Ministry of Justice. Okay. You know,
which other?
Yes, of course, allegation of conspiracy. You know, of course, he won't be able to do all that on his own.
Yeah,
you know,
there
was an allegation of conspiracy. There was allegation of abuse of power. Abuse of power. You know, when you are in a public office and you are doing things contrary to the law.
To be honest with you, I must confess, the way the EFCC have been operating in the past 4 or 5 years, I see them like a power force, like the key force. Once the presidency is not happy with you, before you know it,
that has always been the insinuation when Obasanjo founded the EFCC in 2004. You know, people always refer to EFCC as a bulldog in the hand of the president.
Yes.
That we always unleash at his
any of it
oppositions and all. You know, that has always been the. And if you go like memory line, we'll see that starting from Nuhu Ribadu, that was the first EFCC chair, up to Lamode, that was the immediate
pastor.
You know, the EFCC, succeeding EFCC bosses have not been leaving that position in a ceremonial manner. I'm surprised.
I think the position corrupt.
you know, like someone said that corruption is fighting back.
Corruption is fighting back. Perhaps I will see from the angle that maybe when you get to that position, no matter how corrupt you have been, it is that position that eventually exposes you. Because looking at Magu was a former commissioner of police.
Yes, he's still a commissioner of police. That's his rank.
I really can decipher how he got himself into that. But looking at it, we can trace this story from, I think they started tracing it from the Bureau de Change that was supposed to be audited, and all in all, he got himself into the mess. I think the message for Nigerians in this case is that the law is not
the respecter of anybody.
The respecter of anybody. Nobody's above the law. Be it, I'm not going to be surprised if even the Inspector General of Police is being investigated. Yes. I think the law is showing its stand. The law is becoming the real watchdog now of everyone.
And that's how it is. That's how it should be. You know, that's how the law should be. The law should not be a respecter of anybody. Even the president, as he is, he's not above the law. It's not above the law.
Good.
It's not above the law.
Thank you so much for coming, Barrister Adesanya. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We hope you come again next time.
No, anytime you call me.
All right. You've been watching the Hotspot, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, I see you again. I remain Ayodeji Atonda. Good night.
No, I get up. No, I I get up, no, no, can't deny that. No, no, I get up, no, 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 I get up.